This is Berk, son. It was the home of your grandparents and their grandparents before them. But out there, beyond the edge of the world, lies the home of the dragons.
Thank you so much for getting together with us today.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are actors. You do a lot of different projects. You both spent a lot of time with this franchise. Is there something still kind of bittersweet about kind of coming to the end of the road now?
Definitely, no matter what, because it's been a blast. And between these films and the TV shows, her and I have been playing these characters consistently for upwards of 12 years. And so, it is inherently a bit sad, but like the movie, which is about embracing change and knowing that change is always going to come with a bit of difficulty, we have to sort of embrace that we've come to an end, and a rightful end. This is an ending this story and these characters deserve.
I agree with what he said.
And how does it feel coming to the end of it? Is there
I'm in total denial about it. I saw Dean at lunchtime today, and I said, that's really it. He went, that's really it. And I went, all right, it's not really it. He says it's really it, but let me work on one a little bit. Come back to me in a couple of years. I'll wear him down.
We'll check back with you on that for sure. How has Gobber sort of evolved over the course of the series? Where do we find him as this movie opens?
As this movie opens, I think you find him in a good place. I mean, because at the beginning of the franchise, Gobber was a traditional Viking who was suspicious of dragons, didn't like dragons. Dragons are our enemies. And through listening to young people, particularly Hiccup, he changes his mind and becomes, and opens his mind to new ideas, which I think is one of the most wonderful story arcs for a character in anything. But in this, it's terrific that it's not the learned old guy imparting wisdom to the youth. It's the youth bringing new wisdom and new ideas to an old system that doesn't work anymore. And I love that. And in the second movie, the world opens up to him a little more. You learn more about him and who he is. And at the start of this movie, I think he's trying to find his place in this new world that's changed and that is going to change even more in the course of this movie.
Do you feel like the evolution of the characters in this film it feels natural, the place they come to by the end of the whole story?
Absolutely. I think, the evolution for the individual characters, but also for the overall arc of the story being told, it feels like there weren't massive shifts and themes and changes. Really, we were exploring one very common theme throughout, which is how do you step into your destiny? How do you become the person you need to become to live the life is waiting for you? And I think that's true for all these characters, but definitely mostly for Toothless and Hiccup, who are these sort of kindred spirits that found each other and then had to learn something from each other to go away and live their destinies.
He's kind of a little bit more of a father figure now, too.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Since Stoic is not around. Was it fun to kind of play that aspect of it?
Well, that's the relationship I have with Jay Baruchel. Although he might not agree with that.
I'll tell him you said that. I was, you mentioned something about that he opens himself up to the world. They always say the older you get, the harder it is to change your ways. But I think this arc, like you said, is a great example of showing that you can do that.
I think it's only hard to change your ways if you keep your mind closed. Then you just keep your mind open. It's okay. Old prejudices that don't work anymore. It would be good to let that go. It's not just about dragons, maybe, but maybe about a lot of things. And I think that. I think that that message in particular is one. It's so healthy, I love that.
Has the process changed much in terms of the voicing? Is it still just basically going into the booth and
yes and no. I mean, Dean's way of working is to be in the booth with you. He's in the room. It's like you and I in a room, not dissimilar to this, but we'd be standing up and microphones would be around. But on the third movie, a lot of the time I wasn't in America. I was in Scotland. So Dean would be on FaceTime in Burbank, and we would do the voice session with me in Scotland and him in California. But I don't think we could have done that. I mean, technically we could have probably done that in the first movie, but I don't think we would know enough about the world of Berk to be able to do that in the first movie. By the third movie, you know, there is that shorthand. You know each other, you know the world. You know, we're friends anyway, so it became easier.
Astrid was kind of a, you know, pioneering character 7 or 8 years ago, or 10, whenever it was, 10 years ago, and so now she's kind of still leading the charge in a very different climate, I would say.
Yeah, Astrid is such an awesome character to exist in a film that so many young people have grown up with. You know, I think for young girls and boys to see a female character, you know, without any real fanfare, just be in the thick of the adventure and the action and have her own desires and likes and goals that are separate from her relationship with Hiccup. But also, I think one of the wonderful things about the series is that this is a relationship between Hiccup and Astrid that has been a supportive one, a loving one where they lift each other up, where they bring each other back to kind of center in who they are, and that they can be different but still be side by side and have ultimately a lot of respect for each other. And I think that's an incredible model for a relationship for really anyone, but especially for young people growing up and learning, you know, what does it mean to have a relationship.